Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Limitless DxT coverage here at the south of France in Les Castellets for the French Grand Prix at the Circuit Paul Ricard. We've got 19 drivers in this race today, just starting qualifying, of course, with 45 seconds gone. I'm here with Justin, of course, again tonight on a Sunday evening.
How you doing, buddy? Well, actually, it's afternoon for me, mate. It's like
Yeah, of
around
course.
2:10. But yeah, I'm very excited with this race as we have 19, a pretty good turnout today for the French Grand Prix. We the one person that we were missing was Freedom, so hopefully he joins in for the actual race. But if he does, he will be starting from the back of the grid. But still, 19 is a very good turnout.
It's a very good turnout indeed, and it's looking like good weather conditions in this qualifying session. Just obviously seeing the drivers starting their outlaps, of course. Looking at the Red Bull here of the sad Pancake. Let's hope he can have a much happier day than his PSN tags. Sees the Williams in the background. Looking at Dark Stomp here, of course, our Tuesday night champion from season 1. Back for another Sunday outing, and hopefully it'll be a lovely Sunday drive for him, Justin, out on those medium tyres in qualifying.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see, but it looks like his teammate Non-Human will be the first person to actually finish his outlap, so let's see how he does in this French Grand Prix. But it looks like almost the whole field is packed with drivers. Looks like we only have like about 5 people in the pits, so yeah. It could be pretty hectic here.
Potentially, there might be some rain coming in at the end of the session. That's what's making these drivers get a little wriggle on, as we're seeing the Haas invalidating his lap time out of turn 2. That's not optimal for the Haas driver. Seeing his teammate Dark Stomper also invalidated his lap time as well. Justin looked like he invalidated on the start of his lap. We've got Big Weir just starting a lap time reserving on Sunday night in the Williams. You see it come through turn 2. Is he going to invalidate? No, he doesn't. Keeps it firmly on the circuit as he runs down towards the fast right hand of turn 3 into 4. Really quick, these corners come up on you here, and turn 5 is quickly upon you as well into the long turn 6, and now through the kink of 7 onto the Mistral straight. Well, we're going to come and see about 200 miles an hour at the end of this straight as we're going to bow down into turn 9 now and 10.
Well, it looks like a lot of people actually did invalidate the lap, as you said, Non-Human, Dark Stomper, but also Bugs Bunny. It looks like turn 3, a lot of people are testing the limits of those curbs, so it's a good thing that they tested now instead of when the actual Grand Prix starts. But it looks like Freedom has joined and left.
Hopefully he'll be able to get back in again. If you send him a message, Justin, saying he can pick his car in this session, and just maybe try and send him a invite if you could. As we're watching Big Weir about to come across the line, I think he's going to be the first man to set a time. He is on those soft tyres, didn't bother to go with the mediums. Of course, got one set in this qualifying session to use. He goes across the line, goes fastest, 30.1 of course. This is the first man to set a time. Going to see some other times coming in now. Sad Pancake is next. Goes across the line at 1:31.2, very close to Big Weir. Looking like another Red Bull in the background has just started a lap. Another time comes in there from King David, another reserving for that Mercedes AMG Petronas there. Yo-Yo is up into 4th place, and a new driver with us today. Did a trial and he firmly gets out of the way there, and still stops. He needs to be a bit careful though for stopping on the circuit, as he's now all right there. You've got Lucas A Germany, who is coming down the Mistral straight now. Sorry, Justin, do you want to say something?
Yeah, no worries. It looks like we had a spin out around turn 12 and 13. With actually, is that no? That's turns 11 and 10. That's my bad about that. Then Vidic in the McLaren is struggling when it comes to hitting these curves here. So I guess at this point, even if they don't set a good time, that goes to all drivers. If they don't set a good time, at least they can still use this practice for the actual race instead of for a qualifying session. Just take it as like a practice session. and I'm actually following Nvidia here, and the pit lane is kind of unique on this track actually, where you go into like a very thin road, of course, as normal pit lanes are. But once you go in, you have to take a sharp right-hand turn and then go into that final pit lane, like the straightaway of the pit lane, where all of the garages are.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting with this. So definitely, if someone decides to pit, we could see a big battle when they actually come right out.
Mate, yeah, potentially. There is a lot of room on the exit of the pit lane. Non-humans now set the fastest time. In Lucas, Germany has gone in 2 seconds and is now going around turn 3 at the end of his lap, potentially going to be coming straight back in to the pit lane. Got Bugs Bunny, who is on an out lap, also in the Alpine, of course, home race for this team. Only a few medium runners though, Justin. I'm quite surprised about that.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm actually not surprised at all, because to be honest with you, when it comes to the French Grand Prix, there's a lot of straightaways. So even though when it comes to, like, especially turns 3 to 6 and 7, like, of course there's gonna be a few sections where it takes a lot of tire wear, but with this track not really having that much of an elevation change, and also with it having also counting after the North Chicane, about 3 pretty good length straightaways, they could actually definitely preserve a lot of tire wear here. So I think they would be fine with the softs.
Yeah, it is definitely a track you can overtake on. As you see, a Mercedes get released rather dangerously there, but of course Ghostling's on in the pit lane, so no worries about that. Got Bugs Bunny just starting his lap. We'll ride with him throughout his first lap in this qualifying session at the French Grand Prix. Takes turn 2 rather nicely there as he comes down towards turns 3 and 4 respectively, and down straight into turn 5. Like I said, these corners come up on you very thick and fast, and these are heavy traction zones here. It is easy to get that tail end out. And he takes purple first sector as he comes up to the Michel straight, and the DRS line is just there. It's wide open, and you're going to gain an extra around 20 kilometres, about 12 miles an hour on the straight as we come down to the chicane in the middle of the Mistral straight and back onto it again now, and down to this flat out right hander, and they've got a yellow flag on the course. Looks like a Red Bull going slowly just ahead of Bugs Bunny, as Justin says. Pancake is running a little slow on his in lap, I presume, as we're coming into the final section now. Gets clear and out the way of that Alpine as he's coming around the final few corners now. Been setting purple sectors all the way through this lap. He's got 1, 2 and a bit corners to go as he comes around the penultimate and into the last, and it's now
position here. It
could just be a blast to the line for the pole position potentially for Bugs Bunny as he comes across the line now. Takes second fastest, hasn't knocked non-human off his pole position perch at the minute, and some of these drivers are getting closer with their times, and drivers on their outlaps, just like Big Weir, who was on the top of the standings for a few moments at the start of this session, and it's dropped down to 4th, second row of the grid. He's about to come across the line, and Freedom there on the outside. Got a 4:20 in the lobby now, as Freedom did join us a bit late, going to have a couple of laps deducted from him with the time remaining. He may only get 2 runs in this session, when most drivers can actually get 3 or 4 at very most.
Oh, and Freedom did just invalidate his lap there, so he's going to toss this one right into the garbage. But I think this is good for him, though. Even with him invalidating his time, he doesn't have to stress about anything. He just needs to learn the track as it is right now. So this is actually good practice for him. But he's basically gonna have to do a one-shot qualifying here if he doesn't get to reach the pits in time. But only time will tell at this point. But he's really going very aggressive on those curbs. So if he wants to get a pretty good lap time here, he's got to, like, you still hit the curbs, of course, but just don't put all 4 wheels on there, or else you'll get the red lap.
Yeah, that is very true, and that's the harsh point of strict corner cutting, but it's got to be done because regular is just a little bit too lean for me, and we know we like some strict corner cutting in these races. It really shows off people's talents as well to be able to go fast, and we're seeing if Dr. Wolfgang can go fast here as he's coming around the final 2 corners to set his first lap potentially of 2 as he may have another go at the end of this session. Comes to the final corner and he powers out and across that DRS line to come towards the line now. What time is he going to set as he comes across? He goes 9th fastest, 30.9. He's broke that 1 minute 30 barrier there as you see the Merc go flying past there, and that potentially was freedom, I think, Justin. It was, and this man obviously we know has got some pace, but does sometimes lack a little consistency. I don't think he'll mind me saying that, but he does seem to get good pace in qualifying and just somewhat loses it in the race. He probably hopes to perform a little bit better as he goes right out to the white and black strips there on the outside of turn 6 as we come down towards turn 7 now. Through turn 7 into turn 8 and 9 now, of course, in this sort of awkward chicane in the middle of the Mistral straight, and that was awkward for freedom because it gave him another invalidated lap time. He's still not set a lap, along with 3 drivers not to set lap times at the minute. 2 of them are in the pits, and freedom has probably only got 1 more chance in his pocket, Justin.
Well, hopefully he can make that chance stick in for him, because if he doesn't, he will be starting near the back of the grid, and he'll be sharing possibly some carnage with those chicanes with the people in front of him. But that's the only thing, as you said earlier, I mean, for me, I'm a very inconsistent driver as well as Freedom, and as you said earlier, I don't think that he would mind us saying that, because he did admit it to himself before. But it's just, when it comes to certain tracks, anything can happen. Like, you can just turn the wheel just a little bit too far to the left on one turn, and then your race is completely done. And he'll just have to keep calm, be conservative a bit, but still be aggressive to reach up those higher positions. Yeah, that's something I gotta learn as well, to be honest.
I think we all can learn a little bit more on that one, but you said those 3 drivers still yet to set lap. We got the new man on pole position at the minute. We were looking at Freedom, I think, when he set that time. The reserve Aston Martin driver of Stenos is in pole position at the moment. He had a trial a little early on today, along with the 2 other drivers actually, I think, and Yo-Yo, of course, and Boosted is in 14th place, and was very impressed. Me and Big Weir, who's in the Mercedes, in the Williams tonight, we're very impressed, and obviously taking that provisional pole position at the moment, Justin, is just showing off what we thought, but it's a Haas 2-3 at the minute, and that's very impressive from the American outfit, obviously based in Banbury, actually, and the heart of England, actually. If anyone didn't know that, it's not actually in America at all, but they are an American team.
Well, you might want to watch this, because Dark Stomper is definitely going to give Non-Human a pretty good toe when it came to the sort of straightaway right after the North Chicane. But we'll just have to wait and see how this goes. And they both stopped. Guess there was some miscommunication there between the 2 Haas teammates.
Yeah, and I don't know if they've got a lot of time to go. We've seen yellow flags flash up. It looks like a Merc. I think it's not Freedom. Freedom's on his lap, so it's got to be his teammate King David who's causing those yellow flags. A bit of a shame we can't see the clock. I'm not too sure. There we go, 3.5 minutes to go. So we have got a little bit of time. These 2 drivers probably can get out and get on another lap. I mean, the Haas drivers, but obviously I think Non-Human's going to have to wait, as he was the second man into the garage.
Looks like it, but hold on. We might have to keep an eye here on Freedom. He is on his qualifying lap here, and he has not set an invalidated lap time, and he's going pretty quick in the final sector here. It might be purple, but we'll just have to wait and see when he crosses that finish line.
I think he's backed off of that.
Oh, yeah, right after that turn, I think.
Yeah, he's backed off of that one. He's going to go again, I think, so we'll see if he takes a nice wide line into here, which he does somewhat. And I think he's going to be on for another lap. And as you said, Justin, I think it is going to be a shot for him now. I think you did do the curse to the commentator there.
Well, I don't think at that point it was commentator's curse. I think it was just kind of obvious at that point with him getting the invalidated lap just prior.
Yeah, you did say it a few moments ago. We've still got Boothie in the pits though, Justin, and Ryan Van Doom is on his one and only lap potentially here in the McLaren as he comes down to turn 8 and 9 chicane in the middle of the Mistral straight. Backs out of that and he spins out of the straight, and he does take it out, and he does a magnificent donut there to get facing the right direction. Got a bit of that polystyrene chicane board there in his front wing, but I think he's got rid of that now.
Oh, Freedom just had a pretty good second sector there. By putting first sector and second sector together, he did it under 50 seconds. Oh, he went really wide here.
So we're just with Freedom, and just going to see him complete his lap now as he comes through 13 sorry, and now 14 and into the final of 15 in just a few seconds. There we go. And this is probably going to be his last lap. He has got enough time to set another lap, but it'll have to be straight away. As if he did a cool-down lap, a recharge, he would not have enough time. I don't think he's got enough battery. And he goes 7th fastest. He's not going to be happy about that, especially with big rear on those medium tyres at the minute. Going to try and go a little bit faster, I think.
He's trying to see if he can be the last person to cross that finish line. He's doing this final sector pretty slowly here. Oh, well, let's see.
Just to notice,
right,
Justin, we've got Bugs Bunny who's retired. The top three are all in the 29.6 at the moment. There is nothing to separate these three drivers from the pole position at the moment.
Pretty close there, so it could be a huge contest for that that winning position when it comes to the Grand Prix. But the thing I'm still kind of confused about is why hasn't Boothie come out of the pits yet? He sees that his teammate Yo-Yo is not setting good laps here with a 132.2. So shouldn't he at least get some sort of position for the AlphaTauri team?
You would think so, wouldn't you? Yeah, you would most certainly think so. I don't really know. You might want to start from the back and have a bit of a challenge. I'm not too sure. He might just be busy though. You never know, do you?
Yeah, you do never know. And it looks like Ryan Van Doom is out of fuel.
He is, so he's not been able to set a lap time either. So there's been two drivers unable to set. If he crosses the line, he will go 19th fastest. He will gain a position on Boothie as the check is out for him. We're going to see some drivers now coming down to the line now. We have got him, and he's going to hold up another driver behind him. And it's Dark Stomper. He's going to have to get out of the way, and Dark is not going to be happy about that one. And into the pits. And Dark Stomper takes provisional pole and goes 3/10 faster. And we're seeing Non-Human, sorry Justin, seeing Non-Human now come across the line very, very shortly. He comes out the final corner. DRS is open. Is he going to snatch that away from his teammate? He doesn't. It's a Haas 1-2 in Super Sunday Racing at the moment. And I think, by the looks of the drivers on laps, there are still some drivers. No, I'm not sure. I think that could be the end of qualifying, Justin.
Yep, that is the end of qualifying. A big last second turnout for Dark Stomper. Even though he had Ryan Van Doom in his peripherals, he was able to maneuver around him, and good job from Ryan to giving him the position. But of course, not good to him for getting out of fuel and energy when he crosses the finish line. He goes up one position, but is that really significant in the qualifying? Especially near the bottom of the grid.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's not good. It's not good for Boothie, but certainly it's good for the two Haas drivers. And we're going to see a Haas front row lockout. I think that's the only second front row lockout this year in LFR in all 3 days. The first one was the AlphaTauri front row lockout on a Tuesday night in the first round at Bahrain. And we're seeing it again with the Haas team on Sunday. This looks like it could be a very strong team now, with Non-Human joining alongside Dark Stomper. But Dark Stomper still taking that pole position. Do you want to do the rundown, Justin?
Sure thing, and it looks like those front two was intentional, with Non-Human getting a 0.069 gap to first place. But as it stands right now, Dark Stomper does have pole position with his Haas teammate Non-Human in second. Stenos in the Aston Martin in third, then goes Bugs Bunny, then goes Lucas, a Germany, Big Bear in sixth, Freedom in seventh, Amaguna in eighth, HBO in ninth, Senna in 10th, King David in 11th, Wolfang 12th, Chem Just in 13th, Sad Pancake 14th, Mr. Basil, then Boosted, and then Vintage Yo-Yo, Ryan, and then Boothy. And we will see you in a few seconds at the starting grid.
So thanks for that, Justin. So we will be getting underway with the formation lap first, of course, in around a minute or so's time, maybe a little bit less than that. We're just going to see some of the drivers sorting out their strategies. It's looking like a bright sunny day in this Grand Prix, Justin, so maybe no turns of weather in this race.
Oh, it is bright. The build, especially the white roofs, are blinding me over here in the commentator's box, but it should still give a good run out for these drivers here, and hopefully they don't blind them during the race, because we could definitely see a big crash coming off of those quick chicanes. Are they even described as chicanes, like the first few turns before the first
they're chicanes. Yeah, they're chicanes. I would class them as chicanes.
Sorry.
That's
Still
all right.
New here.
That's all right.
New to Formula One.
That's all right. Yeah, believe it or not, Justin's rather new to Formula One, only a few months. Anyway, quickly, before the race does get underway, a little bit of plug-in. Please make sure to like, share and subscribe to the video. I'd love to get to 150 subscribers by the end of the season in December. And make sure to check out our first two podcasts, one obviously on the Italian Grand Prix, maybe a bit late for that one, but check out the other one on all things future F1 from a few days ago. It's the Pointless Point podcast, also on Apple Podcast and Spotify as well. Anyway, Justin, we're into the race, into the formation lap now, and there's the pit strategies coming up. 2 stops, it's looking like, Justin. A soft, medium, medium, and a soft, medium, hard. Potentially, you might see a soft, medium, soft as well. I'm not sure anyone's going to be trying the one stop.
No, I don't think so. But I mean, the thing is, anything can change here. Well, Yo-Yo and Ryan both get disqualified from the formation lap. Said Boothie will have a good chance of gaining some position straight off the bat. But I'm just looking at the comments, and Vizosu, he just asked, or she, I don't know. They just asked what was the fastest lap, and it was actually from Dark Stomper, if you remember, if you go back on our stream. But I'll tell you right now, it was a 129.3. where his teammate Non-Human was very close to the 129.39. Well, actually, hold on. Yeah, 129.33 something. Sorry, it's hard to see on a small phone. But, yeah, basically, it doesn't even matter what the fastest lap at this point, because to Haas, they're in the best case scenario for this French Grand Prix. But, they do have strong comers, like Bugs Bunny, and I gotta say Freedom, because if he stays consistent in this race, he is gonna challenge those top positions. But
he will do.
Only time will tell at this point.
Yeah, and to talk about tyres very, very quickly, top 10, of course, starting on those used softs from qualifying. And everyone back to 20th place are all on the medium tyres, so that is going to be very interesting to see. And if they potentially might go for a one-stop, I don't think so. I think it would be more of a medium soft potentially, or medium soft. As there are a couple of comments coming in, we're sure we'll check in with those some way through the race. But of course, we're down to crunch time now, as we're seeing the two Hasses line up on that front row lockout, and got 2 drivers on the grid already, obviously being disqualified from that session, so going to be waiting for Nem, Vidic and Boothie in 20th and last, and we're just about to get underway. Obviously those 2 Hasses on the front row, and see if the Mercedes or Alpine can make a little bit of an upset.
And I'm looking at it, it looks like Apex Finley, one of our own, is actually rooting for the Mercedes in this race, so hopefully they can do him proud.
Sorry, 4 of 5 red lights. And we're away for Super Sunday Racing at the French Grand Prix, and Dark Stomper gets a good start, but it looks like Styrios, our debutant, has got an even better start, might have a run into turn 1, and they go side by side, and the Dark Stomper still come down on top through turn 2 they go now, and there's a bit of chaos in the background. There's a few drivers who are out there. Nemvidic is out of this race, and Ryan Van Doom is round, and the VSC is deployed. And a 5-second penalty for a serious collision there for Boothie. Some of these drivers are going to have to now pit. Very, very strange. Didn't actually really catch what happened. Got Bugs Bunny, who's now got a 5-second penalty as well. Ryan Van Doom has left the session. Could you just message him, say to come back and retire his car, please?
Sure thing. But I can describe to you exactly what happened there. Mr. Basil gets spun off of turn 1. And it brought down all of the AlphaTauris and the McLarens. As you can see, Nemvidic is completely out of this race, and Ryan Van Doom actually got cut off by Boothie. So that severe collision, I'd say, was Boothie's fault there, from my point of view. But we'll have to check back with the stewards after this race. But I sense right now a big, it was actually a really good start off for Stennis, like you said, gaining a position. And Freedom has also gone up a position as well.
Drive-through penalty for the VSC there. There is a little glitch going on with it. I don't think that would have been Dark Stomper's fault.
Oh, we get a battle between the Mercedes. Oh, actually no. Lucas is going into the pits.
So Lucas, Germany, is into the pits, and obviously Bugs Bunny gaining that 5-second time penalty. Towards the start of this race. Obviously in the first few corners, Dark Stomper leading the race, something he's pretty used to. Speeding in the pit lane there for Mr. Basil. That's not what he wanted to incur there as he rides down the pit lane with a load of drivers also in the pits. It's going to be a big battle at the back of the grid. Justin, as we've seen Dark Stomper in the lead of this race. It's the front 4 of Dark Stomper, Stinios, Non-Human and Bugs Bunny, and Non-Human's brother Freedom is just catching up to that group as well, and Big Weir not too far behind, so this could be a 6-way fight for the lead very, very shortly. And DRS will be enabled next lap. Obviously it was only a VSC, no safety car, so we will get DRS enabled on the usual lap 3 at the start of this race, and only one driver out. 19 remaining in this race as he sees just...
Oh, we see a battle for first place here. We see the Aston Martin trying to go on the inside of Dark Stomper. But Dark Stomper does defend pretty well, but he is going to continuously attacking the rear wing of the Haas. But it looks like Non-Human's going to try and help his teammate by seeing if he can get to overtake himself there and try and defend a 1-2 for the Haas. But it was very close there, and it looks like Freedom is actually creeping up to that battle for first place as well. So we could see a potential 5, 6, maybe even 7 drivers for that first place position here.
We could do. I got the feeling that Dark Stomper hasn't got the pace he so desires at the moment, and it looks like the debutant in that Aston Martin is going to look to the inside at turn 1, and he brakes later, gets the move done into turn 1, and on the exit of turn 2 he's pretty comfortable away. We've got DRS enabled now. That was an unaided overtake there, and it was all old school and natural there, Justin, for that overtake, as we're seeing the 2 Haas drivers going to fight to gain back that lead. But which one will it be? Dark Stomper from last season was rather used to running away with races as soon as he got into that lead, but he will have DRS. All 3 of them have DRS, and they will be fighting down this Michel straight as we go into turn 9, and no position changes as of yet, and looking like there might be some towards the background there, as we're seeing King David and H. Bosworth go side by side there. Soft tyres versus medium tyres, and looks like King David got the position there, and these front 4 though, Justin, are still very, very close together.
Yeah, and looks like we have a caution in sector 1, and that is Mr. Basil again. Really struggling, Mr. Basil, with these recent races, actually. Just been very unlucky on his part. But I think Bugs Bunny might have a little bit of front wing damage. When it came to the North Chicane, Non-Human was slowing down a little bit, and that gave Bugs Bunny a
yellow.
little bit of a front wing damage. And Wolfang has spun off the beginning of the third sector. Oh, that is not going to be good for him. As if you guys remember, in real life, the real life French Grand Prix, it was a 1-3 for the Red Bull, and as it stands right now, it's a 14th, 15th. And Dark Stomping is a 3-second penalty there, so now Non-Human technically has second place.
But there is an awful long way to go in this race. We're on lap 4 of 27. We've got Dr. Wolfang, who is into the pits. Looking like he's going to change
Freedom's catching in, though.
His tyres
and
there.
Mayfair are catching up.
And 3-second penalty for Bugs Bunny. Yeah, sorry, as you were saying, they are really catching up. And we've got, Big Weir joining the back of this fight as well, I think. In that Williams he is. And Yo-Yo making a move on his fellow debutant there. Boosted, they were racing together earlier on in the driver trials and putting on a good show there, and look like they're doing it just the same here as they just come to the end of the Mistral straight. And there's a just jump towards the back. Justin Boothie and Chemjaz are just coming onto the Mistral straight, going through turn 8 there and onto the straight, and looks like Dark Stomper has a bit of the bullet. Into the pits he comes, and that seems like a very, very early decision from him. Not sure what happened there exactly, and now Stinios takes the lead of this race.
I'll quickly check in for you. I think it was some front wing damage, but let's see. No, he just did an early pit. He's going to go with the mediums.
An interesting decision there.
Odd strategy. Yeah,
but these guys are all going to be fighting. He might be coming out in a bit of a gap, Justin, potentially.
Definitely, but it looks like Non-Human is not going to have DRS here.
And he went really wide through turn 8 as well.
Yeah, it looks like Bugs Bunny, he does have the pace. Does he shoot on the inside? He is going to shoot on the inside when it comes to the North Chicane. Does he? Oh, he gets another time penalty.
There's a side-by-side out of the chicane. He loses the back end over the curbs. Obviously very deadly in this new edition of F1. Codemasters game F1 2021, ruthless on those curves, and looks like Non-Human is going to be ruthless into that turn, and they make contact. And I think Non-Human was a little bit ambitious there when he went into the into that turn, into turn 12, sorry, turn 11, I keep getting all my numbers mixed up today. Turn 11 is Big Weir is now moved up to 4th place, and we've got some drivers now bailing into the pits, all following what Dark Stomper's been doing, and we're going to keep an eye on Dark Stomper now, I think, as Freedom takes the lead of this race, but obviously yet to pit. And we've got a yellow flag there, and looks like there's some trouble in the chicane in the middle of the Mistral straight, and Dark Stomper coming round the final corner of turn 15, and he's in 10th place at the minute, but he's going to be making up some ground now. Is he going to overtake his teammate? I'm not too sure as he comes down the start finish now. There's the Aston Martin just behind, and that might have been a very good call there from Dark Stomper, Justin. He had a bit of clear air, and he's got a bit of clear air ahead of him now to potentially push on a little bit.
Yeah, he does have a little bit, sorry. I was just drinking my drink, and the backsplash went right up my nose, so give me a few seconds. Hard stuff up the nose is not a good feeling, I tell you.
And we've got a yellow flag again, not too sure who that was for.
That was a...
Oh, it's Mr. Basil who's caused himself some more damage there, going through the polystyrene boards, see him fly up into the air. And does have to be careful here though, because he's taken out all the boards. He's not too sure what he's doing there.
He's probably trying to disqualify himself from this race.
He just needs to retire in the pits. He says he does. Listen to the stream. Just retire in the pits, Basil. If you don't want to race, don't cut all the corners in a fight with Chemjaz and Ryan Van Doon, but obviously not in this race anymore. We'll go back to the front Justin, is King David is right on the back of DxT Senna. Looks like he's going to go for a move to the inside at turn 1. And Senna almost shut the door on him there, and Mr. Basil gets a 10-second penalty for corner cutting. And I'm assuming he's into the pits and retiring from this race. We're going to be down to 18 drivers. Yeah. As we come around.
In my opinion, he should have handled that a lot better.
He should have handled it a little bit better, but it doesn't matter for now. He's still back into the pits. Now Meguna gets through.
Second place.
Yeah, I'm just with it.
Second place, King David. It's going on the inside of the Alfa Romeo.
Gets moved done.
Senna.
Well, before the corners to go through the chicane of turn 8 and 9. And Senna's round. Senna's round, that's a big issue. We're going to see some of these drivers coming through now. They're into the chicane, but he needs to crack on with it. That's going to have lost him a huge amount of places now. Lost a huge amount of time. And when he pits, he's going to go falling down the order. Not sure where he will come out, but it's certainly going to be right towards the back. And we're on lap 7 on board with Dark Stomper, who is net first at the moment with his pit stop taken early. And there's a move there from Stinios on Boosted, and gets that move done pretty easy by the looks of things. And these front guys are getting spread out from this traffic ahead, who are yet to pit, but of course don't need to get out of the way, as they're not a lap car.
No, but Apex Finley, I'm looking at the comments right now. Apex Finley, if you are watching this, you currently have a 1-2 for your desired team Mercedes. I hope you're enjoying it so far, because I don't know if it will last as much with Dark Stomper on younger tires, as Freedom does have to pit soon with those softs.
Oh, sorry, Justin. Dark Stomper's taking 3rd place away from Yo-Yo, and Stinios is wanting to get involved in the action as well as we come through turn 5, and goes a little bit wide on the exit, makes a little bit of contact, and it looks like he gets the move done through the H-Boss with a 3-second time penalty. Not sure who's got the DRS though, as I think it's the Alpha Tauri. It is, and I think he's going to have to defend this position. It's Stinios, and Yo-Yo is going to fight back into turn 8. And round turn 9 they come now, and powering out of that chicane and down the rest of the Michel straight, of course with no DRS. There's no braking zone around the next corner, so he's unable to have that put in, unfortunately, as we see him fly round turn 10 and into turn 11 now, and a long swooping corner. 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane for Freedom. These drivers are getting penalties where they really don't need to, and it's quite unnecessary for their race. But it does look like it is going to be a 2-stop race with how many drivers are pitting so early on in this race. I'm pretty sure, Justin, this will be a 2-stop, seeing Non-Human and Yo-Yo fight out the final corner of turn 15, and Yo-Yo giving him a bit of a squeeze there. And I don't know if Non-Human's going to be able to go around the outside, but he's going to try it. He brakes later, has the inside. Yo-Yo gets spun round. I think that was pretty fair from Non-Human there, and he is able to recover. And he will now fall down.
Non-Human did go around the outside. He was battling for that position, and he gave Yo-Yo enough space during that turn. So it was a pretty well done for Non-Human, and Yo-Yo should have just given a little bit more space, and if he did, he would have been right behind him instead of right behind about 5 cars.
Yeah, you're right. Stinios looking to the inside there, but obviously way too far back. Even Daniel Ricciardo wouldn't go for something like that. Boosted, there's a big battle here for 5th place, and Big Weir has had contact from that Mercedes of Freedom. The 2 Alpines are just behind. It's a blue curtain at the rear of this pack at the moment. And Big Weir is just coming through turn 10, and Freedom might have a pop at turn 11. He looks like he's going to throw a punch, but looks like Big Bugs Bunny is going to throw a bigger one, and is able to keep it on the track. And Big Weir is now going to take that position back. Chaos happening round turn 11, and the other Alpine now taking the position. Boosted goes up to 7th, and that was some real action going on there, Justin. That was quite enthralling.
Yeah, when it comes to the French Grand Prix, especially with all of these chicanes, you're definitely going to see some sort of battle within them. but it looks like we have a lot of people with a... Oh, actually, hold on,
sorry.
Doug Stumper.
Yeah, it's lost second place to Stinios. So
sorry, as I was saying, it looks like a lot of people, like in the top half, has a lot of penalties, especially Freedom with 8 seconds of penalties, and Bugs Bunny with 6. Everyone else has like around 5 or 3 seconds. But Stinos, with absolutely no penalties here, has the biggest chance of his life to win this French Grand Prix.
As Dark Stomper is going round the outside at turn 8 there, and on the exit at turn 9, once again finishes off that move. The Alpines are fighting into the chicane as well, and Bugs Bunny now comes out on top and overtakes Boosted for 7th place. But it's pretty interesting to see where Freedom is, of course, on those hard tyres and making them work rather nicely, as we're seeing a battle towards the back of Amir Guna in the South Pancake. Amir Guna is not in a position we're really used to, Justin. He's usually fighting right up at the top of the field, of course, our championship leader in Monday night, and he's really struggling with this Sunday league at the moment.
Well, I think it was because he was part of that that huge crowd off at lap 1.
Oh, of course.
And turn 1. So a big upset for Amir Guna, but he still has a lot of race left. There could be anything could happen here. But even if there's like a safety car or something, that could still give him the opportunity and give all of these drivers the opportunity to have a chance of winning this French Grand Prix. Especially the ones in the back, just because almost everyone in the front has a bunch of penalty times. So, again, anything can happen in this race. But as it stands right now, King David is still leading this French Grand Prix in the Mercedes.
But, of course, he's yet to pit, so we're going to see him come in probably pretty soon, and he will be coming out in around between 8th and 10th, I would guess, and he has got quite a gap to Dark Stomper, but of course said yet to pit. So Dark Stomper really is in the lead of this race and fighting with that debutant of Stinios, and it's a technically at the moment, Justin, it's a Haas 1-3, so not a bad result, not as good as a 1-2, but definitely not a bad result for the Haas team as it stands.
Yeah, definitely not an up. Oh, Lord, that drink. Yeah, basically with the Haas, even with them having a pretty good start, like with the qualifying, them being 1-2, we already knew that with their skills getting those fast times, they will be battling for the top. But I'm just looking through, and remember how Freedom just recently went on those hards? Do you think he might be going for a one-stop strategy here?
I know what's going on right now, Justin, is that fight for net first place, and Stinios comes out on top again. He takes second place on the road, first place, and there's looks like there might be as a driver into the pits, and there is a close battle for 6th place between Bugs Bunny and Big Weir. We'll make sure to keep an eye on that one as we see the two net first and second at the moment, coming round turn 7. Sorry, what was your question, Justin?
No, it wasn't a question, it was a statement with the Haas.
Ah.
Well, actually, no, the question was with Freedom, right. Freedom only recently went on to those hards. Do you think that he might be going for a one-stop strategy here? And
I think so.
Good job.
Oh, and there's a yellow flag. I'm not too sure. Looks like that could have been the Alfa Romeo. Yeah, I think it was Senna. And just seen that Bugs Bunny has now got past Big Weir and said, yeah, Freedom's definitely on a one-stop here. And Stinios is now just starting to get away, just broke that DRS window. We'll just keep an eye on the South Pancake and Amir Guna. They've still been fighting this entirety of this race so far. King David is in the pits, so Stinios is going to take the lead of this race in just a few seconds time, and you see King David has gone on to the hard tyres. Where is he going to pop out, Justin? I think near H. Bosworth will be my guess. He's coming to the end of the pit lane. I think it's going to be quite close between him and King David, H. Bosworth. I think he's going to get just out ahead of him. As there he is, actually. They might have a fight into turn 1. I think they are side by side. No. King David has just got ahead and takes that 7th place, and now he's going to try and be on the charge. Boosted is in the pits and gone on to another set of hard tyres. I think they're one stopping, Justin. So this is going to get interesting between the front drivers and the ones at the back. Got another driver round. It's Dr. Wolfgang. And he's struggling somewhat in this race.
Well, we might see a position change between second and third, as Non-Human is now catch up to his Haas teammate. And in my opinion, I think Dark Stomper should let Non-Human go past, just to see if he can actually challenge Stenos for that first place position. But
doesn't look like it.
Yeah, it looks like Dark Stomper is not going to let him through.
And Non-Human's brother is catching up pretty fast. Freedom in that Mercedes. He's bearing down on Non-Human. I'm sure the younger brother of Non-Human's going to want to try and prevail over his fellow driver, and of course older brother Freedom, as we're seeing a back marker of Ryan Van Doom, who was out of this race earlier on and just left the session. Unfortunately didn't retire in the pits. As we're seeing the two passes side by side into turn 3. Let's hope this doesn't get messy. It does. Non-Human takes that 2nd place, but of course, Justin, Dark Stomper is now going to get DRS, so this is going to be a fight into turn 8.
Well, hopefully not. If these drivers are smart, they would not battle. If he wants to go for the position, just give it to him, and then just try and get it back later on. Because the thing about it is this way: they're like a train at this point, and they're just pushing each other forward and forward.
Stunner has spun again. Amir Goonan goes through on the sad pancake. Sorry, Justin.
No worries, no worries. So basically, this is like if I was the Haas constructor right now. If I was do they call him a coach? Do they call him a manager? The person that's on the headset speaking to him.
Well, the racing, yeah, but you're on about team principal.
Team principal. If I was the team principal here, I would just let Non-Human keep in front of him to see if he can challenge him, and if he does not, then them two will just have to battle it out for their desired positions, and just try and defend against Freedom, because we all know Freedom is a pretty quick driver, but at his best days, when he's consistent, he will definitely challenge those top drivers. But it looks like Stenos is having the drive of a lifetime, having an amazing start of this French Grand Prix. Commentator's curse!
Commentator's curse off and on to the blue and white, blue and black and red and black. So on the outside of the circuit makes it very, very colourful. He had a very colourful turn 2 there, but was able to keep that palette nice and clean and keep it on the road as he comes through turn 7 now, and no gap made up. But these two drivers are very, very close in pace, and I'm not too sure he's the fastest driver out of the two of them. I'm not sure if Dark Stomper's going to want to get past again and see if he can make up some ground. You see the Aston Martin just fly through there.
Well, I just looked through there, Joe, and it looks like Non-Human is the faster driver, as the recent lap was almost a whole second ahead of Dark Stomper. But they really should be worried about Freedom. On those even with those hard tires, he is about 0.2 slower to Non-Human, a whole 0.8 seconds faster than Dark Stomper. So we could definitely see a battle for 3rd place in the next coming of laps, as the gap is now 1.4, or basically around 1.4 seconds. But that's what we were saying about Freedom earlier. He is a very skilled driver. He does have the pace, but the thing is that he's lacking in his consistency. But right now he's being very consistent, so he definitely still does have a huge chance of battling those top drivers, as he is closing the gap. And where did he start from? 9th place? He started from 7th place actually. Started from 7th, and he's all the way up to 4th. So pretty good turnout for him. And let me see with the time penalties. He does have 8 seconds of penalties. So once he passes, he's within DRS zone of Dark Stomper now.
He is, but Dark Stomper is still within DRS of his teammates. So hopefully that will help with his defence. Looking at Bugs Bunny, he's a little bit far back. I don't know if he's going to be able to close up on that gap, but of course he's in a fight with Big Weir, and who else is in a fight? DxT Senna and the Sad Pancake, who is now round, and looks like they've made contact. That was very close. And Boosted is going through now. Sad Pancake is moving down. Got Camjazz, who's about to come through as well and overtake the lapped car, and Wolfang is into the pit lane onto another set of tyres. Out again, and he started looking back at these front drivers. Justin, the battle for second is getting ever more interesting, and the race leader is into the pits, and Non-Human follows suit. Dark Stomper is going to take the lead, but obviously he's going to have to pit again, would be my guess. Let's have a look at these. Let's have a look at this tyre situation.
Looks like Stenos is going on another set of mediums.
He's going on. Stenos is going on the mediums, and I'm surprised he didn't go on the softs, but maybe they're not going to be able to last the distance. Non-Human, of course, is just behind him. Big Weir's coming around the final corner, so they're going to get out ahead of him with a bit of clear air ahead.
You might want to go up to the front of the grid here. It is coming to that first DRS zone, and Dark Stomper and Freedom is within DRS range. He has the DRS open. Let's see. He is closing the gap. 0.4. 0.3, 0.2. Okay, he doesn't do it, but he's definitely gained a lot of positions there. And the thing is with Dark Stomper, he is struggling at this point because he's almost continuously locking up on every turn.
You say that, now he's going for a move around turn 10, the turn 11, the flat out. I'm getting all my numbers mixed up. Turn 10. And now into turn 11, he takes the lead of this race, and he does actually take the lead, because we're reckoning he's going to go for a one-stop strategy. And if Dark Stomper is going to have any chance, does he stay out, or does he try and stick with him? But of course, Freedom is on really good strategy here, and those hards working really nicely for him. Bugs Bunny is in the pits. We'll keep an eye on him along with Big Weir, because those two are fighting for position for quite a long time, so we'll keep an eye on that one. I think Lucas of Germany is staying out for the rest of this race. Maybe it might be a bit of a stretch though, as we see even go past Bugs Bunny, and Stylios is going through as well. We're going to keep an eye. Big Weir is coming out the final corner, obviously a long pit straight here, and he now gets to the exit. And I think he's going to get out ahead of Big Weir, and he does. And obviously on those newer tyres, that's not what Jason is going to have wanted there. DxT Senna now falls down the grid. Yo-Yo is up to 11th, and Ami Aguna is in 10th. Go back to the front. 4 tenths separate the top two now, and a bit of a gap to third place. But of course, King David trying to hold on with this one stop, I'm presuming, and the driver behind him will have to pit again. I'm imagining, but I think the last few laps, Justin, might start hotting up.
Oh, definitely, especially with everyone just finishing basically their final laps here. The only thing that would change this would be a safety car, but well, the thing is, I actually don't want a safety car to come out, because all of these drivers have really proven how safe they can actually be, except for Mr. Bowser at one point. But it still shows, like, when it comes to Limitless racing, like our league, we always focus on safety. That's why for you to even get into this league, that's why you even go through a whole safety trial. If you don't do it, then you're not going to join. And with that, it provides us with amazing races like this. Big battles.
Oh, sorry, there's a
of course.
Fight for fourth there. Lucas of Germany just holds on to that fourth place, but Stylios is really wanting that fourth place now, getting a little impatient as we come down into 3 and 4, and he's going to look up to hook up a good exit through turn 5 and out of 6 and into 7. And we're on to the Michel straight now. There's the DRS line. No DRS board anymore as Mr. Basil took that out earlier on in the race. And Stenios dispatches of Lucas of Germany. And we've got non-human close behind as well, who's going to want that position also. And try and keep in touch with that Aston Martin driver. And he's going to try and go for it now. He's low on the old battery, but Lucas of Germany is also low on his battery as well as they go side by side through turn 10. A little bit of a squeeze there from Lucas of Germany. Is he going to go down the inside? Another instant the same. He was able to save it. Non-human. That is a parallel of earlier on in this race. He did not learn his lesson the first time, Justin.
No, and now he might be suffering from a little bit of wing damage there. But that's just the thing. Like, you just have to be patient. But it looks like Freedom is putting a huge gap between him and Dark Stomper. And Dark Stomper? He's trying to stay on those medium tires for the rest of this race.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's his plan now. I think he's a bit late in the day to not do that. It's interesting that we said there probably wouldn't be a one-stop, and it might be the one-stop that wins this race. But I think the Aston Martin, Stenios, is going to have something else to say about that. Well, look at the gap from the leader. He's still got 16 seconds. He's got 7.5 laps to go. Can he make up that time, Justin? Can he make up that time? He has got traffic ahead. He's got Dark Stomper and King David, who is just becoming within his sights. But I still think that's a slightly tall order.
It is going to be a slightly tall order. But, sorry, but I'm actually going to have to say right now, when it comes, we are at the 20th lap. About to start the 21st lap, and that's the sense right now. Dark Stomper does still have to lead in this race, with Freedom, I believe, in second and Stenos in third. So with these penalties, it definitely changes the whole aspect of this race. And I see Lucas A. Germany comes out on the soft, so he might be trying to see if he can get a fastest lap time here to bag in an extra point for the Ferrari.
Two darts. Dr. Wolfgang is back into the pits again. And onto the soft tyres. He might try and snatch that. Fastest lap away. We got a yellow flag in the middle of the course. I'm not sure who that's for.
That was DxT Senna. He did spin around turn 6 right before the first DRS zone, and now that's going to give Camjust and Sad Pancake a battle there.
So we're seeing some comments coming in, Justin. We've got 15 comments on the video, 16 now, so there are some people talking away in the YouTube comment section. As I said before, guys, so we're on lap 21 of 27 with 18 drivers remaining, well, technically 17 drivers remaining. And so right, Mandine left the session in lap 1. Make sure to like, share and subscribe on the video and check out that Point podcast for us. The 2 first episodes are up on Spotify, Apple, and obviously on this YouTube channel as well. 2.5 seconds separate the top 2 now, and with this race, and they've done it in pitting, so no safety car is going to be deployed. So just hold on to your caps, ladies and gents. We've still got a few laps left, and no safety car just yet. Dark Stomper is in the pits. That's an interesting call. I thought he was going to stay out, but maybe he's not going to be able to, as King David is coming round turn 14 now. Martin just behind him. Senna is left the session. We're down to 16, even though 17 on the road. We do have 16 left. Up comes out. He's going to be on the soft compound, and I think he's going to get out ahead of Bugs Bunny, but only just, I think. Is no, he does lose the place to Bugs Bunny, and Big Rear is a bit too far back to cause any problems for Dark Stomper, but I think he's going to dispatch Bugs Bunny pretty quickly as Lucas of Germany takes the fastest lap there with 1:31.9, and 5th and 6th right close together.
I think with there, Dark Stomper did go with the safer option here, because his tires, from what I'm guessing... Oh, actually, hold on. Stenos is going to battle King David on the North Chicane. Big battle between them two. King David pushes him off the track. That might be a legal overtake. And it was a legal overtake.
Yeah, he has to
So
give
now
the
King
place.
David still has that position.
But is he going to keep it for much longer? As we see Stinios looking to the inside at turn 11, and wasn't able to make any there. As we're just watching Stinios and King David fighting for second place. Two Hasses who are going to be trying to catch up, but I don't think they've got enough time and enough laps left to do it. And we're going to see him now powering out down the start finish. King David trying to break the toe just a little bit, a bit of weaving going on there from the Mercedes driver, and Stinios looks like he's going to go round the outside at turn 1, and he does. He gets that move done with quite a lot of ease there, but I think King David isn't going to come out of this without having a pop back at Stinios. So we're going to come round turn 5 now, and into turn 6 we come in this long swooping corner. Got to be patient on the power, and he has been up. DRS and H. Bosworth and Lucas Germany are fighting for position there, but we'll stick with this battle for second. And Non-Human is starting to close up that gap. That has getting ever bigger in the mirrors of King David. He's gonna have to worry about him, I think, more than Stinios now, Justin, to a good result in this race.
Yeah, but the only thing is, Stinios is going to have to get a whole 6 seconds ahead of where he is right now just to battle Freedom for that first place position. But I don't see that happening anytime soon, especially when Brian Van Doom, being AI, I believe, cutting him off there a bit. So I think this, if nothing
Yellow
else
flag.
happens,
Yellow flag. It's Dr. Wolfgang who's round. And really not had a good race, but he's been sticking with it, and he's only got a few laps to go. He might as well just try and stick to the very end. He's letting drivers go through. 8/10 separates Stinios and King David still, but Non-Human getting involved, or trying to get involved in Dark Stomper. Sets the fastest lap, and we're going to have a quick look at the penalty situation, Justin, for looking like what these guys are on. Non-Human is not got a great set of penalties. Obviously Stinios has got no penalties, but not sure if he's going to be able to close up that gap to Freedom, as he's really pulled out a fantastic race, starting in 7th place.
So it looks like the one-step strategy did basically prevail. But the only thing is here, Wolfgang did retire in the pits, but the thing is, this might be one of the only races that Freedom has been pretty consistent. Just from even starting in like a very tough position to where he is now, the pit strategy has done him very well. And it looks like if it stays like this, it'll be a 1-3 for the Mercedes team, which basically is the well, not the complete opposite, but it's what the Red Bull did in real life, with Verstappen taking first place and Sergio Perez taking third. But now it looks like Freedom has done his job, and King David has done his job holding Stinios for as long as he could to guarantee that position.
Non-Human is right on that rear wing. He's seeing that Ineos logo very, very clear now, and I think he's going to maybe have a go around the outside potentially. Is he going to be the last of the late breakers? He does get alongside, and he might get the squeeze on it. Turn 2. Nice room kept there from King David. Good battling between these two for that 3rd place. Obviously though, Non-Human with that penalty, but this is what Dark Stomper's going to be wanting, isn't it, Justin? He's going to want his teammate to fight with King David to get him in with contention of that 3rd place potentially for Dark Stomper.
Well, King David is going to try and see if he can get the inside line, but of course Non-Human does have the DRS and the slipstream as he goes around the outside. He has now a full car length ahead, and he will gladly take that position. But the thing is now, he has only a few laps to go to get a whole 3 seconds ahead of King David to make sure that he is in the podium positions. And as Apex Finley said in the comments, looking like a double podium would be great for the constructors, especially with the Mercedes here. But anything can happen in this race yet, Apex. So, of course, there is commentators curse, but don't make comments curse now. Don't want to be the creation of that just yet. But
Viewers
now
curse.
we are in the penultimate lap.
Yeah, we're into the penultimate lap. As you've seen, Freedom, as said, started in 7th place, and obviously we'll give you your driver of the day. We'll give you your options soon, but for me, Justin, it's got to be Freedom, Stinios, and just from where King David came from, we'll just double check where he came from. Up 7 places, I think. Go on, sorry.
Hold on, something big just happened here. It might not be it might not be two Mercedes in the comments. What's called not on the conversation on the podium. Right now, King David just got another 3 seconds of penalty, so now he is below Dark Stomper.
Oh no, and King David, I was just about to be her nomination for driver of the day there, driver's driver of the day, and he's might have all gone horribly wrong for him there, and he's gonna have to get past Non-Human now on the road to gain any sort of position. This race is very much changed for him with a lap and a lap and a third to go now, so not long to go, and we'll talk about Stinios in just a second, with H. Bosworth getting past Lucas of Germany for 8th place. It's a Williams 7 and 8th. Looking like it's going to be for the rest of this race. Had a lot of comments in the comments section today, so thank you very much for being a part of the action tonight in the Super Sunday race. With 1 lap to go, officially as Freedom has just come across that start-finish line, and we'll cut back to him in about a minute or so's time. H. Bosworth and Lucas of Germany are still fighting for that 8th place, and H. Bosworth, they've got 6 seconds worth of penalty, 3 seconds there for Boosted, and Boosted and Chemjazz are now fighting for position, and Boosted getting 9 seconds worth of penalties. Non-Human, 3 second time penalty. It's all changed once again as we go on to the final lap, and it looks like Dark Stomper might be getting the podium here. I'm not too sure. I think that might be the case. Dark Stomper now might be taking that 3rd place. It's all changed once again, but King David needs to try and make a move now into turn, and there's a yellow flag. There's a Alpha Tauri off the road, 3 second time penalty there for H. Bosworth. It's all kicking off in the final lap of this race as we're seeing Non-Human Freedom is run out of fuel in the final lap. As he comes around turn 11, he's got no fuel left, and that time's coming down. It's 8 seconds for Stinios. He might win this race with a few laps to go. It's all kicking off, and where's Freedom? Freedom is just ahead. He's going to lose this race, Justin. Dark Stomper is overtaking King David. He's gone wide, but we're going to have a look. Stinios might be winning this race. There's Freedom with no fuel remaining. He was hoping for a safety car. He's about to lose it with 2 corners to go as we're going to come out the final. He is for sure lost this race. Stinios comes round the final corner. No time penalties for the man, and he takes the lead on the road, and Stinios wins the French Grand Prix with a few corners to go on the final corner. Non-Human goes up a position, and whoa, this is mega. Dark Stomper takes 2nd. Freedom does come home in 3rd, but was commanding in that race up until the final few corners, Justin.
Oh no.
What an end.
Upset for the Mercedes team. From later on in this race, a predicted 1-3, and it is now a 3-8.
As
and
we
that
just
gives,
gone.
No.
As
that gives the Aston Martin of Stenios the win of this French Grand Prix, and Dark Stomper and Non-Human a 2nd and 4th for the Haas.
As Siamir going across the line, his teammate takes the final point in this race. Yo-Yo, debutant, comes home in 11th. Good performance from him. We're just seeing the Sad Pancake come around the final now. Got a few drivers left to cross the line. Sad Pancake, unfortunately, he's not going to get any points in this race. Chemjazz comes home in 12th. 13th, it was a drop of 1 for the Sad Pancake. Boosted comes across the line and finishes this French Grand Prix, this epic final lap of the French Grand Prix. Justin, driver of the day goes to Yo-Yo. And strange one. I didn't think that would. No offense to him, I didn't think that would have been the call. We will pull out our driver of the day in the Discord. You'll be able to see that on Instagram if you want to check that out at Limitless DxT.
Hold on. Sorry, do you see that?
What?
Freedom doesn't have no head on my screen. Freedom, his head is completely gone.
It's because he joined late, so it's Lewis Hamilton's car. I think that's what it is.
Oh,
anyway,
that's hilarious.
Anyway, Justin, do you want to go through the final order quickly?
Oh, I would glad to. After seeing that, oh my lord. I'm sorry.
Anyway, I'll go for it. Stenios takes the win of this race. Dark Stomper comes home in second. Freedom, from losing the race with a few corners to go, finishes in third. Non-Human finished fourth. Bugs Bunny was fifth. Sixth was Big Weir. Lucas of Germany was in seventh. King David is in eighth. Ninth for H. Bosworth. Amir Guna finished in 10th. Yo-Yo was in 11th. Chemjaz in 12th. 13th, the Sad Pancake. Boosted is in 14th. Boothie was in 15th. 16th for Ryan Van Doom, who did lead this session earlier on, so he's the first of the DNFs. And Dr. Wolfgang was out with a few laps to go. DxT Senna was out as well. Mr. Basil and Nemvidic were both out of this race. So, Justin, that was something. That was something else. That was great. That almost matched the carnage of Monday night a couple of weeks ago, and in Belgium, as my girlfriend comes in the room acting like an idiot.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be honest. For me personally, my top three when it comes to the drivers, driver of the day, I'd say number one would have to be Stenos. Number two would have to be Dark Stomper, and even though near the end he still proved himself as a good driver, I would say King David. Like, he was very unlucky with the penalties near the end, but just still fighting off to give Freedom some sort of space. I still think that he did a very good job in the Mercedes.
He did. Unfortunately, with a few corners to go, he ran out of fuel and lost the win of this race with literally on the final corner. Actually, he just got him on the exit of there, so that will be a bit gutting for Freedom. Anyway, thanks for watching this Super Sunday Limitless Formula Racing French Grand Prix. We'll be back tomorrow night. It's Singapore, of course, for Monday night racing, so you're looking forward to that one, Justin?
Like, this is the thing about me in Singapore. I love the track. I love to race in it. Just with this amount of people, I could definitely see a lot of stuff happening, especially with us watching, actually commentating on Singapore last week. Well, yeah, last week Wednesday, I believe. Just something like, hopefully something like that doesn't happen to us. But of course, it's Singapore. It doesn't take any prisoners.
Yeah, it was very unlucky for him, and let's just hope you don't have anything like that tomorrow. It will be the longest race. Obviously, we had Singapore in SRM on Wednesday night, to make sure to go check that out, and then you'll be back with Justin and Steve on Tuesday for the Hungarian Grand Prix, Justin, so that hopefully will be a cracker for you. But of course, we're on Sunday night, and we'll quickly talk about next week's race, Justin. It's what I'm looking forward to. It's Austria next week, so that's always a good one to
That is actually my favorite track.
It's a good one to commentate on. So anyway, thank you once again, as I said before, for tuning in and watching this Super Sunday French Grand Prix, and make sure to like, share and subscribe to the video. Check out the Pointless Point podcast. We're back on with me and Lee, of course, 7:30 tomorrow night, so make sure to check that one out. Anyway, it's goodbye from me and Justin.